Dang it, I was gonna move that darn thing and now I'm gonna get distracted and want to sit here the whole entire time. How is everybody? Happy Tuesday. We're about 1 minute early and I'm down to like the last 30 something seconds on this resin. And welcome to ColorPlay Live. Looks like Jasmine's behind me. Uh-oh, I mentioned her name and now she's jumping off. So who's here? Hello, everybody. Say good morning. Okay, everybody's being shy or they're just listening. So last week, this lady named Sandy Sanders, one of our viewers, had made a comment on the Friday Live. And by the way, we switched to morning, everybody. Morning, Michelle. Morning, Jennifer. We have switched to Tuesdays and Fridays instead of Tuesday, Thursdays to make sure that I don't have to cancel again on a Thursday. Don't want to do that. So on, and what I have to say about this, I might have to put it in 2 videos because we had a long conversation. So Sandy, sorry, I'm a little distracted. It's probably done. I just want to make sure it's ready. And while I talk, it has a chance to set up a little bit. So she's the lady that had worked with she kept calling it aqua resin. And apparently it's a 2-part material, liquid and powder, mixed together, forms a type of decorative concrete, similar to the Jesmonite. Hey there, Mandy. Love that you can watch me while I'm working. Hey, Judy, good morning. So she's working with this Jesmonite material, and she had told us in that Friday event that it was the first coloring system she's ever used, that the color did not come off her hands when she demolded. Hey, Hope, how are you doing, honey? Is that Sheldon? Wait a minute. Is that Sheldon Briscoe in the house? Holy guacamole. I just mentioned Sheldon's name in the last video that we need to get some of the purely pigments in his hand so he can prove the whole I can make my own cell activator out of gel medium trick. He is the expert at that. Anyway, so Sandy Sanders had mentioned that Purely Pigments was the only coloring system so far. Even the products sold with the Jesmonite, the coloring system sold with the Jesmonite, bleeds on your hands when you're demolding the concrete items. We FaceTime for about an hour. It was a whole new world for me to look at what this Jesmonite or aqua resin is. Yeah, Sheldon's in the house. Much love, baby. I know that Saskia Smith, when she does those beautiful decorative rocks in her videos, she mixes plaster of Paris and a little bit of something heavier, and they're like a wet concrete to weigh them down to make those rocks that go on top. But this is an actual concrete system. And what baffles me is even the acrylic paint, if I heard her correctly, the acrylic paint even comes off her hands when it's demolding. And the only way I could explain that is maybe the polymer in that acrylic isn't compatible with that aqua resin, but the liquid stuff actually does look like a form of polymer that's mixed with this white powder. So I have no idea. All I know, I was thrilled to pieces. Then we started talking about color. And she just threw it out there, Leslie, you need to do a color theory class. Of course, as soon as you say the word theory, I feel like I'm in a Peanuts cartoon hearing Lucy go wah, 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 wah. Or when someone says hue and value, I'm hearing noises in my head like I'm in that Peanuts cartoon. But she had talked about her challenge with putting colors together and told me that maybe what I should do is offer an extra section or some sort of, I realize that paid content, it would help me with passive income, to actually teach the color mixing. I did have someone yesterday, Sherry, was it you that said I need to keep track of 1 drop of this and 2 drops of this equals this, and we end up coming with some kind of chart that gets built over time. I think the Purely Pigments will probably max out at 36 colors. I don't know if you need the full 48 color Crayola set, because you got to think of these as your master Crayola crayons, and you can make anything out of them. Pretty much, you can mix anything with them because it's just pure color. And not me. It wasn't you, huh? Well, it was somebody yesterday I was talking to saying, keep track of what you're doing and write. Yeah, write it all down. So then she said she was having challenges with putting stuff together and finding what's complementary. I said, you mean the complementary colors? Yeah. And I really think we could do a whole section on this. It might be a Friday or a Saturday. I don't know about on a resin day, but I did share with her that I wrote this little book called The Colors of Radiance. And I put a test there of showing, do a glazing class. Well, you know, Sheldon wants to see me do a glazing class. You know, that last event, my whole piece was done with glazing with varnish. And actually, I need to add the next layer to that piece because it's gorgeous. And glazing's phenomenal because you can add color on top of color on top of color on top of color. And actually, Sheldon's not telling everybody he's actually a fine artist, so he himself would do fabulous at glazing, wouldn't you, Mr. Sheldon? We know you could because you have a gift with the brush. Anyway, so in this section of the book, I had a daisy painted 4 different ways. I'm just going to get to the point here. And it was inspired by a woman who'd come up to me in class, and she said, why does my yellow daisy not look as pretty as yours? Now, when I said this to people over the phone, they kind of giggle, like, as if the person thinks they can't paint as well as me. And that had nothing really what she was looking at. As she brought her piece up to me and compared to side, why does mine not look as good as yours? Now, somewhere in her brain, she could see it, but she didn't understand why it was different. And her daisy was a yellow-orange daisy, painted basically, oh, you're welcome, sweetheart, painted on Sheldon said, thank you very much. I've been scolded to, if I'm gonna answer somebody, I need to put what their statement up was first, because there are some people now, there's this doctor I know that listens to me while he's driving, and he may not always watch what I'm saying. So he wants to hear part of the conversation too. Anyway, my daisy was a yellow-orange in this blue-violet background. Her daisy was a yellow-orange. And I don't ever want to teach somebody they have to paint the exact same way as me. But she tried to paint the daisy exactly like mine, but the background was a pink-yellow background. And she didn't understand why hers didn't look as good as mine, okay? And her brain saw that there was nothing contrasting, but she didn't know how to verbalize what was missing. She couldn't see it. She didn't even realize there was a missing contrast color behind that yellow. I'm sorry, I don't mean to bore anybody. You'll go back and watch this and hear what I'm saying. She couldn't see that mine had the blue-violet, hers had the yellow-pink background. Mine was just popping because of contrast. And so Sandy had said maybe I could teach about contrasting colors in the class if you're all interested in that. Hello, Miss Sandy Sanders. Sandy Sanders is the young lady that FaceTimed with me and showed me that beautiful aqua resin. By the way, she had, and I got to get that mold and I got to learn how to do it. She cast this, it looked like a candle holder mold, like in a concrete. It was a beautiful cylinder your candle could slide down into, but it had decorative areas on the outside. And she had painted it with our interference gold. It was beautiful. So back to the subject of the contrasting colors. You know, Sandy was saying she struggled with trying to get stuff to go together. And so I think I want to cover this in another segment, talking about colors, what contrasts. I mean, today we're here to talk about resin, and we're already 10 minutes into it. And I'm going to do some color mixing right now. Last Tuesday, I failed on having a good black and white. I still don't, but I have an aluminite white and a little bit of aluminite blue already poured out that we'll be able to use. And let's see what we got going here today. Hello, beautiful people. Hey, Scarlett, how's everybody doing, guys? Okay, so I actually have a little board here. I even put my little feetsies on it. And I taped the sides. You can tell I'm a little hopeful about what I might be able to accomplish today, guys. Hopeful, hopeful, hopeful. So, I'm just going to get a piece of acetate under here because my plastic stops right here and I really don't want to stain my table. So we're going to mix up some colors. We're going to play with some resin. And I'm even going to mix up a primary element for you guys. I'm going to mix one of the metallics up in resin. And I already have my resin all mixed up, Judy. No, I have not tried that little thing yet. I've been busy all week. By the way, I need to announce it. It went out in an email campaign. Sorry, but I'm going to do a shameless advertisement. I've been working for the last few days over the weekend on a new page called ColorPlay Deals. I don't think Jarek has it sitting at the top of the shop, but if you open up the 3 lines, you'll see it at the bottom right now. And I had to create the header, had to create the images. I put together 3-piece interference sets. Each color family would have, let's say if it's violet, a 60 ml jar of interference violet fine, a 30 ml jar of the interference sparkle, and a 30 ml jar of the interference diamond put together in groups. Oh, look at her talk about the feather mold. You got to show us photos, girl. And so they're put together in groups. We pumped up the amount in the fine because I think that's what you might use the most. It creates the strongest shift is the fine. I use that on almost everything when I'm mixing it with a sparkle and diamond. And we put them in color groupings. They are discounted down to what it would cost you if you bought 3 30 ml jars together. And then, of course, you can put your discount on there. So you get an extra 30 mils of the interference when you're buying them in the group. I did put the dragonfly wings up on special, both the large and the small set. It's also on that Color Deals page. And one thing, while I was tooling around at the site, I had a woman reach out to me and say, you know, Leslie, I love your stuff, but no offense, and I didn't take offense to it. She said, can't I see the colors before I buy them, like in a set? And I'm like, well, we have a section under education that says product videos, but you know, it's kind of hidden if you don't know where it's at, right? So I went into one of the sets, created a link that just says click to watch video. So it, you know, when you're looking at the set, it would go directly there. And a happy accident happened. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the software was supposed to do this. It literally embedded that mixing video right in the set. So, well, right where you push to view, you know, like you want to look at the set, look to view more and open it up, not just in the listing. You open it up and the video will start right there. Now, I just got the primary elements to work. I do need to go through and get all the prison pour sets done, but that was kind of an exciting thing. But yeah, there's this new page up. We've got special deals. I am planning on going through all of the videos, and I'm going to break up these little custom color play sets by week. So like what I used in a Tuesday, Thursday, or Friday, one of those 3 days, and Saturday, oh, Michelle's doing something. Please explain how to get the deals again. Just go to the little 3 lines on your phone, open it up. At the very bottom, you're going to see something that says Color Play Deals. Jarek still has to move it up into the shop section, but it is visible. Also is the Winter Dreams link too. So, well, you can also find it on your computer. It'll show up in your regular menu if you're on a PC. But the ColorPlay deals page is there. I am creating groups with colors used in specific weeks to make it easy to follow along. You know, I'll pick the highlighted colors I think we got the most reaction to. Try to make it somewhere around 50 something bucks, so it's really reasonable for you guys to come in and buy a little group and follow along with past videos and play along with me. Let's have a little color play together. All right, well, let's get on with what we're gonna do today. I always get nervous with epoxy because I'm still learning, but I certainly know how to mix it. So let's get on with this. So I really want to do a bit with the metallic. This is the Cerulean, the Purely Pigment Metallics, right? Because I want to show the versatility of all the products. And here is my art resin all mixed up. And I'm going to try, see if I just can't do like little ½ ounce, 3/4 of an ounce batches here. Well, I got this stuff going, we might as well get it out here. I also have some blue and white Alumilite in the cup, in case I want to have a little bit of white in a dark color. I also thought, because I don't actually have black, I could use Vivid Intense. I have it on the table. But I think in the Crayola crayon set, it would be worthwhile to give you guys a carbon black, purely pigment, pure black, and then something they call mixing white. It's a type of white that will lighten the color, but still give you some translucency, say that 5 times fast, and your sparkle will come through. See, because without light, without the translucency, you got no shimmer, baby. So you got to have a little translucency in your color in order to have it work. And yeah, so there's a few of them. I just got this white and black to mix up, get it out of the way. Actually, that looks a little concentrated. I think I need more resin in the white cup. You will, whatever you guys are willing to do. I wish I could see the whole chat. Someday I'll have the equipment set up where I'm going to have a screen right here and everything you're saying is going to be right in my face. So I can hear what you guys are sharing and talking about. Wow. Okay, we got some of this Illuminate blue. These are just some matte colors. Illuminate is a really interesting product. I don't know if it's archival. It's just there to add a nice solid accent to something. You know, I'll make my own custom purely pigment black up for next round. And I just think it needs to be put into the line. We need to have a black and the white for you guys. Someone just asked a question. What did you just ask? I am so sorry I missed it. Please ask again because I don't have a feed here. I can only see what's coming through on my phone. And sorry we have a little dribble here. I like to keep things tidy. I'm not a big dribble girl. Let me keep it clean. Why it's dribbling off from me, I don't know. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 approximately drops. Yes, please, black and white. What is transparent? Oh yeah, there's a certain type of white. You'll see it sold. Yeah, I am using art resin. You'll see it sold. People will sit and tell you, you'll find notes somewhere written that, oh, if you mix with zinc, it's not as heavy as a titanium white. It's considered a mixing white, but there actually is a white that I can bottle that is designed. Ooh, that's pretty. Wow, that's gorgeous. That was 10 drops of the Purely Pigment Cerulean blue. I'm liking the play of all the greens in there. This is a beautiful phthalo blue, slightly green shade with the green mica. That's why it's that's really gorgeous. I don't know if I want more intensity. I kind of like that transparency. I think it's going to be beneficial to float over on the top of the delphinium, which is another color I'm going to make. But since I'm going to make a primary element, I want to mix that one up first. This was a dragonfly wing color, and it's actually on special. And how you get the primary elements to work in resin is you have to pre-dissolve them first in a little bit of Vivid Art fluid. It's an acrylic that has no thickener in it. Resin doesn't play well with things with thickener. Let's get our handy dandy, our little spoons out here. The pink parasol is the dragonfly wing set, and it's up on special right now. It's on the deals page. We almost called these blingets because they were pure mica with just a drop of color in them, like sugar on a sugar cube. But because there's color in them, I could not promote them as a blanget, because people know if they're using the minerals, they could go ahead and use that as eyeshadow if they want to use the minerals, and you don't want to promote this as eye makeup, right? So, okay, pink parasol looks like, I didn't look it up, but I see little flashes of blue in there. So I'm going to add some of the interference blue diamond. See that beautiful diamond on my hand here, interference blue diamond. And give a little something, something here. Buff it up, pump it up. Now, what does this do? The Vivid Art Fluid is acrylic without any thickener. It looks like skim milk. You just need enough drops on there to dissolve it. You're not trying to make a paint and then put that paint in there. You basically just want to muddle it up into a paste. That's almost too much art fluid, to be honest. I could make more. And since we do have a lot in here, let's make a little more of it. I think this will be a pretty color. Let's hope everybody likes it, because it could actually handle more of the pink parasol in there. You want to turn into just a nice creamy paste. Yeah, you and Britt, everybody's going crazy over orders right now. We're so backed up after the holidays, and our crew is doing the very best we can. We promise, guys. Everybody's been asking, and they're slowly leaking out. But with people being off so much time, it's hard. So rather than dump this in here, actually, I have some more resin mixed up. I'm going to add the resin to the cup that I mixed up the pink parasol and the art fluid. Okay, so now this is another, oh, look at that blue. Okay, because this has so little color in it, see how that flash, the interference blue and the blue diamond is just sparkling like crazy in there. This is also not very, very intense with color. It's going to give you another translucency. Yeah, yes, I agree, Judy. Judy says everybody should have a little art fluid in their hands, a little art fluid in their life. Absolutely. Okay, now I'm going to play with a color called Delphinium, one of my most favorite colors in the whole wide world in the Resin Art line. Oh, this is a new jar of it. You can see how sparkly it is. Now, Resin Art is different than the primary elements. If you were to put this in there, you would get marshmallow. The color base is designed to dissolve and be translucent in your resin as primary elements are in acrylic. We want the similar translucency so you get the maximum amount of sparkle, okay? They are compatible with alcohol, and they clean up with alcohol. And I know for a fact somebody out there, I don't know if Kathleen McGee's on right now, but she's been doing tumblers, taking the resin art and making an alcohol, kind of a thick alcohol ink. I don't know if it's really an alcohol ink, and splashing it on her tumbler. Yes, it sounds therapeutic. Whatever you guys are talking about, therapy, I'm all in. Let's have some therapy, baby. Actually, I want to hit my water therapy. It's time to hit the pool. Okay, let's get a little bit of this delphinium in here. Now, resin art not only has a special coloring system, but unlike regular mica powders, or how if you've experienced trying to put like a mica powder in resin and it poofs up in your face, okay? The resin art has a special wetting agent on it, and it just melts right in. It just dissolves. It doesn't mean you don't need to stir it up. It's just that you can stir it up so much easier because it's in. You still got to break that color down, but so don't be fooled by it going instantly in and say it's mixed up. It's just that the mica's not going to poof up on you. You still want to make sure that all that color, yeah, this is delphinium, guys. This is so beautiful. This is resin art, and it just melted like butter. It goes right like butter. Zinc white is what it's sold under, Judy. You're correct. As far as a white that's not supposed to be as dense with the titanium. But here's a fun fact. The actual white that does it, I'm going to give you guys a trade secret. Are you ready for it? Drum roll. They call it invisible blue. When you buy it from the supplier, it's called invisible blue, but it's not blue at all. And it can lighten the color without adding any junk into it. It lightens it up, and it's clean. It's used as a mixing white, and zinc is the most common mixing white. Judy Sand is correct. For the consumer to go buy a white, it's got to be the zinc. She's dead on that one, baby, because that's just how it works. Okay, so we got the cerulean mixed up. I'm just keeping track of what I've mixed so far. So we got our delphinium. So we have like a blue and a purple and a pink. I think I got a theme going on here, right? Oh, wow, I might tell you I am in love. I could just do a whole video of doing nothing but mixing and staring at what these colors look like. They're so stinking pretty. Okay, mermaid. That was one of Judy's favorite colors. I don't know if it still is, but mermaid is a really gorgeous color. For those of you that like turquoise. Now, the delphinium is considered a galaxy diamond, has a bigger flake. This is a satin. This is made with the interference fine mica, but it's still a resin art. This will not go into acrylic. You will make mushmallow if you try to do that. The color is designed specifically for epoxy. And yet, you know, because acrylics can be beaten into resin, yes, we go the other way and show how to make primary elements being compatible. You could go through A to Z. I got all kinds of suggestions. I'll tell you what, when we find, I got to get a team of people to take a few of the jobs off of me, because trust me, I am ready to go all in on the teaching thing, kids. Well, that's interesting. Why is my mermaid reacting weirdly? That's really strange. I am not liking that. That's really odd. I'm going through my stash box. You can't see me, guys, but I'm going through my stash box. I've got my African jade. I don't like what happened to that color dissolving. And if you don't see that color, breaking down. I'm looking for one of my older jars of mermaid because I have a giant box of it here. We may just have to use the aqua African sky. And this is what happens. We'll make our own damn mermaid. It's what's happening is I'm seeing the color not breaking down. It means I got to go to the lab and ask them what happened. This could have been this is a really old batch. It looks like a hand sample. But if the color's not dissolving, it looks like the wrong blue is in there. See, you saw it first on the live, kids. Say anything can happen. I got a box full of resin art underneath me, but I'm not going to waste your time having me go all the way through it. Yeah. It's something in that particular batch because believe me, I got some mermaids that are going to knock your socks off. Now, African Sky is a turquoise. It's a very delicate turquoise. We're going to add some Purely Pigments to get the color that I was hoping to get with the mermaid, right? So I'm going to add some of this in here. The only color I've had that happen to was not Aruba. Hi, everybody. How you doing? Hey, Kathleen. Welcome. So this is a pale aqua. Really gorgeous color. But I wanted something a little bit richer. That's why I was going with the mermaid, right? So because I have the mermaid, I'm able to add a drop. I'm thinking 1 drop of Vibrant Aqua. 1. I don't want it too... You're at the hospital now? Yeah, that aqua's pretty. Now the aqua's taking this icy blue and trying to make it more, it's adding some green to. See how the green's being picked up? Because it's going from an actual icy blue to turquoise in 1 drop. I mean, they're all teal family, but watch it again. I'll put 1 drop in again and try to put it right up in the camera. What's so interesting is it's going to bring in the green part of turquoise. That 1 drop. Now we've got a nice mermaid going here. Oh, well, our prayers and thoughts are with your mama, honey. Right on. She's lucky to have such a beautiful, devoted daughter. Seriously. And last but not least, I found my Nickel Gold. Last time I wanted to mix up my golden maple. I keep thinking of the golden maple, but I keep thinking of that Canadian logo, you know, that maple leaf. Yeah, I hope she gets well soon. So I keep calling it Canadian maple. So last time I was looking for this to add a little backdrop color to my golden maple. This time I'll add a tiny bit of the Nickel Gold. Now I like gold, so I'm going to make a little extra. Now I could use, here's my options also. Remember in the Purely Pigments, we also have the golden nickel, but this is really strong. It would dominate the whole darn thing. In the other video, I used this color, and the fresh ginger in the Vivid Intense actually is the perfect backdrop to this. But I just wanted to show you another combination, because that's my job, is to kind of go through everything and show you how they all work. So you get a chance to see them firsthand, right? So add some of that golden maple, nice little. Now this has no wetting agent in it. There's nothing to keep it from poofing up. If you're gonna notice, this isn't gonna stir in quite as fast. You kind of gotta be careful. It's a really pretty gold. But you gotta be really careful when you're stirring up the powders if there's nothing on them. Now this golden maple's gorgeous as is. It's actually, that's really beautiful, quite frankly. And I don't really want to ruin it, but it really doesn't look like complete paint until there's an actual color. If you see bottled gold and copper and bronze paint, I'm gonna try to put 1 drop in here and not ruin it. Oh, come on, guys. No, don't squeeze it. There we go. I just want 1 drop. 1 drop. That's it. I mean, you can see that 1 little drop right there. That 1 little drop right there. If you see bottled gold paints like that 24 karat gold that DecoArt sells and the golden metallics, there's color in them because it makes, see that little bit of color makes it now look like a golden paint. Refrigerate after opening? What are we refrigerating after we're opening, Sheldon? Okay, so I have some colors here. Oh, by the way, I talked about the new 3-piece sets, and I had a little thing here to show you. So like on the Color Deals page, just so you can get a visual, if you were to do, like, say, the blue, you would get a 60 ml jar of the interference, and then a 30 ml of the sparkle, and a 30 ml of the diamonds. Woohoo! That was right here, so I had to show you on the camera before I put it away. Anyway, okay, let's see what we can do today. How much damage can I cause? I get all my little toys put away here. Get all the pigments and everything out of the way. I get nervous. Judy knows this. I get a little nervous when it comes to playing with the resin because it's still a brand new territory for me. It's not like, what are you kidding about? Is John here? John Niedermeyer? Yeah, the sets are up there now. I did little 3-piece sets of the 3 different sizes so people could pick a color family. And they know, and there's, I must admit, I spent a good time yesterday making really pretty images for them. I'm so proud of my images for them. So you could get some gorgeous image. Okay, well, I think painting here is going to be easier left or right. I'll have more action this way. So I'm going to put a couple extra gloves on now and get a little flood coat down. Hey, John. The shelf life, don't freeze it, that's for sure. You want to make sure, I don't know. I mean, as long as you keep those ridges clean and it bottled, it should last you years. It's pure color in a glass bottle. I mean, that's the whole reason why it's put in glass, hon. That way, the plastic, and a lot of people don't know this, but plastic breathes. And the harder the jar, the harder the plastic, more air can get through it. And the more clear air can get through it. So we chose to put them in glass to protect that shelf life. Okay, so let's add a little clear. Probably don't need much because I've got some white and black too that I'm going to put down. Oh, good. I didn't glue my thing. I didn't glue my button shut like normal, Judy. Normally I used to glue this shut by accident by picking it up with my glove wet with resin. You're getting excited to make sure you don't miss anything. So I'm just going to kind of spread out my flood coat here. This is just a lubrication so the color doesn't skip. We start playing with this. And because this wedge is that one of those silicone wedges, it's safe to do this. It's not going to hurt my wedge. It'll rinse right off with alcohol, and make sure you've always got a spray bottle of alcohol and paper towels, lots of them on the table if you're going to play with resin, because that's what cleans up your mess. Boy, I wish I had Judy on the phone because she'd be telling me exactly what to do now. I'm like everybody else. I mean, I can top coat anything, but to do designs on resin, I've had some really great luck. I've had better luck going with layers, like a base coat layer and then do another layer and then another layer, because you can always fix it in between layers, right? And trying to do a design. Make sure we got that all spread out. Hey, Miss Mandy. Miss Mandy's been doing some really beautiful geodes and blooms lately. Everybody remember, we've got our event coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend. The 27th and 28th is the Winter Dreams event, and Mandy and Sheldon will both be there, along with yours truly getting herself into more trouble somewhere. I have a little hair. I'm going to fix this. I got to pull a Mandy. It's pulling a Mandy when you're getting your piece fixed up. Mandy, you are a very meticulous. I find you very meticulous about keeping your pieces nice and tidy when you work, and all of that stuff at the end, so it dries beautifully. But she'll do that on camera, and you can watch her fix it. She's not afraid to show the whole enchilada. There are those people that they only show you the perfect results. Sheldon's the same way. Sheldon shows the whole thing, man, top to bottom. If it has to be scraped, it has to be scraped, but top to bottom, the real deal, man. I get people complaining that if it's too perfect, you know. Is Jasmine sitting behind me? Not right now. She was when I started, John. She's not there right now. I said her name and she just kind of jumped off. Why, I don't know. Okay, so I want to put... What do I want to do with this white and black? Well, I kind of want to go this direction and see if I can't do, I don't know, some kind of swipe thing. I don't know if it's possible, so let's just play. Or some delphinium. Here's some of my African sky with some of the couple drops of the vibrant aqua in it. I'm loving the transparency of this. What is African Sky? It is a resin art. It may have been discontinued because there's another color that's real close to it, and right off the top of my head, I can't remember the name of it. There's the Purely Pigment Metallic, right, going in, and see the translucency and the sparkle. I am loving the color that this is giving me. They're really pretty in resin. Okay, and then we've got our pink parasol. Now, this is a primary element. See how it looks more opaque? Like I told you, the primary elements, even though there's just a little touch of color in that, you see the opacity compared to this one? See how that has more transparency? This is more opacity. So I'm just going to put a little bit kind of down the middle. I don't want to ruin this thing. I have no idea what I'm doing other than I'm going to heat it and try to swipe it. I have these little swipey things sitting next to me. What is Sheldon doing that's so exciting? I feel left out, you guys. Okay, so here is some Alumilite we're going to swipe over. And I'm going to use the white to swipe on top of it. And Judy, I can probably, if she was on the phone, she'd be saying no or yay. I have no idea if this is going to work or not. I think I'm going to wait and put the gold on top. Have that be my little touch-up thing. Okay, I cut a whole bunch of acetate swipe pieces, different lengths and widths. Yeah, you can make watercolors with the primary elements real easily. You're right, Sheldon. You can do that. I don't know, feel like I kind of want it fatter, like a short, fat swipe. Got my scissors here to cut them down. Anybody tell me if I'm doing me? Somebody stop me if I looks like I'm doing it wrong. Mandy, Judy. Maybe I'm not doing it wrong. So I want to put some of this white on my piece. I feel like I should warm those up just slightly. Hey, Janelle. Just to pop some bubbles and get it warm, right? I'm wondering if it'll let me blow it. So can I swipe this out? Well, it looks like yes, but I didn't. I shouldn't have cut that thing in half, should I have? Because I'm seeing a reaction from this, and there's quite a bit of color on this thing that I swiped. And my guts put the color back on the darn piece. Let's not get rid of that. Ooh, it is giving us cells. So you can, oh, sorry. So you can swipe the white over that. And I'm getting cellage, right? What happens if I blow it? And then I try to swipe it out even further. Wow, look at that, guys. That's really interesting. I don't know, do I want to mess with that? Yeah, base cells and top cells. Now, we used to use that stone coat. You're right, Michelle. We used to use the stone coat. And stone coat had that stuff that smelled like turpentine. And when you would go over, the color has to go over it. And the other one, you go under. That's kind of interesting. I wonder if I can take my pattern and pull that out even more. I'm liking what's happening here. I like that color combination. Mama says it looks like a snail. Does it look like a snail? Hey, Mom. I'm glad Mom's watching. You can use to stretch the cells like Nancy does. Yes, I can. So I'm trying to remember what I first put down. I am using art resin. That's exactly what I'm using right here. I'm going to just kind of continue with this shape. See if I can't find my way here. Oh, that cerulean blue and the delphinium. Oh my God, look at those two together. Wow. Can you see that? Get some bubbles out of here. So I use the delphinium. I use that. It really looks interesting, doesn't it? I'm not hating it. I don't want to ruin this thing. Trying to find my own way here. I like what happened here. I don't want to disturb that, but I kind of want to pull this out and create another shape and not ruin this. I'm liking what's happening here. So let's just put a little bit of this mermaidy, aqua, African jadey color. I think it was called something else, because isn't African jade a primary element? I'm getting confused, guys, on the color name. I think I called it African sky when it was in the resin art. I think African jade is a primary element. Uh-oh, I hear a kitty crying. It's probably Harley, though. He's the biggest troublemaker around. So I want to make sure I got a nice little vein here, and then I'm going to swipe that. You guys seem to be having fun watching me just kind of find my way here. I'm liking how that delphinium is reacting to that cerulean blue. Wow. You see that? Wow. Now it's getting a little runny up the sides. Good thing I got this thing taped off. Wow. I kind of like what that did. I don't want to swipe the whole thing. I want it to have pockets of swipes and, oh, I won't. I got that gold right here, baby doll. I'm thinking about exactly when, and yeah, I've seen Erica do it. It's kind of at the last minute. She'll do that beautiful veining, right? And just sort of do the quick little drizzle, right? And yeah, look at that, man. That is stunning. Wow. Like I want to sit and study this before I decide what the next thing to do, because I don't want to screw it up. So now what do I do? Let's put, so I've got this color, this color, this color. We haven't put more Lumelite down, but it would only be as a dark veining if I'm gonna swipe, right? So I'm gonna swipe right here and end up using that as a texture. Sorry, guys, I get quiet when I start thinking, what am I going to do? Someday, I guess I'll just run the camera and forget that the camera's on and just paint. Let's get some of this pink here. Let's not give up on our beautiful pink parasol, right? Remember, this is giving us the opacity. This is when I wish these were paper cups, because you can squeeze up on them. I got some white. I'm going to see if I can't do a little swipey-dipey thingy right there. I don't want to ruin it any more than you want me to ruin it, I promise. Trying to find something fat enough. And then I'll run it up the whole edge. Tiny bit of heat. Just a tad of heat here. You would have tried to swipe with the pink. You mean make the pink the swipe color? But it doesn't have the stuff in it to react. Now, we could turn this white into a pink. That's a really good idea, Sheldon. Matter of fact, that's not a bad idea because we could add some color to this, can't we? We can actually put some color in that. I swiped over the blue and the pink. I don't know. Pull the pink under the white. Put the pink under the white. I'm getting some cells from my white swiping. Uh-oh, I didn't see what you said. You may want to say that again, honey. It's a reverse palette knife swipe. Okay. So I put the white underneath and then swipe the color on top. But the Alumilite reacts when it goes over the top, where the stone coat doesn't. But let's try that. We put a little bit of white down, like you're saying. We got this area here to fix anyway. It's a little, the pink's a little bit blah for me. Wish it had a little bit more oomph to it. Like rhodamine, our favorite color in the whole wide world. But, so you're saying to swipe on the knife? I don't have a knife. Not that I'm going to ruin with this. The ceiling? What am I going to do with this ceiling? What the heck is that? Oh, there's another Mandy thing on the swipe tool. Now, this is my tool right now. I've got that. I've got these. This would work. And then I do have this, if I was brave enough, as somebody else I know who uses this all the time in her swipes. Yeah, I get all befuddled at this point because it's not as natural to paint with this as it say it is with watercolors or something else I'm used to painting. But now we're just gonna kind of do an intuitive thing. I'm not even reading what anybody's saying. I can't right now. I have to look at the board here, and there's no way to see comments. Maybe someday Michelle will come over here and help me, and she can read what off everybody's saying. Michelle DePorto, I found out, doesn't live very far from you guys. She's pretty close. She could say, hey, Mary's asking. So. That would be fun. It would be nice to have a couple people on camera. Then we actually get our equipment set up. I still have to get all the equipment nailed. Sadly, my landlady of 18 years. Yes, I have rented this house as a business space for 18 years. She wants to move her daughter back in here and wants me to move out after 18 years. So there's that. You know, as far as setting up equipment, it'll work out. It is what it is. I'm just excited to be doing these with you guys. I am learning, believe it or not, as much as you are. I'm learning about you and what you want and what you guys know so far or don't know, which has been surprising. No offense. I've made a lot of assumptions, which is bad. And I, New Year's resolution, stop the assumptions and actually listen to what the people want. What do they want? I still am loving how transparent this is. I love those metallics in this stuff. It's, wow, it's giving me transparent sparkle. You know, and the purely pigments metallics is the transparent sparkle. Of course, the pure color, you have to be careful how much you put in there. It's going to be, it can take your transparency away just as quick as it adds a color. And why I'm excited is because the color base is clean. When I talked to my color supplier the other day, he goes, oh, you can get this for really, really cheap. I said, yeah, but I'm using this color and it's got a lot of luminosity to it. It's, oh, well, that's twice as expensive. I said, yeah, that's what I thought. There's no impurities. There's no additives. There's nothing put in the color to bulk it up. Are you seeing what's happening here? I'm kind of liking that and I don't want to ruin it. I don't know. I know the pink is kind of a weird color. What's yes? But I don't want to ruin that pink there. I think I can put a little pink line in here and add some pink on the outside of here, just so there's a little balance. It looks like I used the color all the way through it. But I'm kind of enjoying the pattern I got going here. And I still am adamant that I am a baby beginner when it comes to doing decorative resin artwork. I really am. John, I'm sure you could teach me a lot. I know if I was lucky enough to go to Fairy Art Mother's studio, she'd be definitely teaching me something. She's out there playing with her resin all the time. That girl rocks. Judy is my hero. So, you know, when it comes to knowing how that resin works, I bow to the experts. I want to learn. Okay, I found a fat one. I was trying to find a fat one. Somebody just said something. What'd you guys say? She's saying a reverse palette knife swipe. I'm going to have to get on the phone and have you explain that one to me there, Miss Mandy. I guess the reverse is the color is on the thingy and the swipey color is below. Instead of the cell activator being on the what you call it, you know what I mean? Yeah. Well, next time I can try that, definitely. But I need to mix, I have this white I know that will make cells, but it's not something I sell. I used it last time and it ate up all the color. This time I would prefer to, let's see, how are we gonna do this? Let's go ahead and take this white and these colors and just kind of run them around and get lucky. Let's hope we get, ooh, look at that. Woohoo! That's pretty. I want that on something. I'm adding that back in. That's really gorgeous. Whatever just came off, I'm adding back in. It's really beautiful color. I don't want to waste a drop of this stuff. You see that? See how pretty that is? Oh. I'm kind of liking it. Oh, wow, look at that. It almost, wow. Can I accidentally do that on purpose again? I've never seen that effect before. So I'm just taking the excess and dribbling it back in, and it's creating kind of this, I'll wait till you see the patterns that it's making. It's creating these crazy patterns. It's the only way to describe it. And these colors are too pretty to waste. I can hear somebody in the back of my head, don't forget the gold. I hear it now. Can you see that? This right here, this section right here. I'm afraid if I tilt it, and you see that? Oh my God, that's beautiful. Blue tree against the sky, right? You see a blue tree? Yeah, but this big pink area in the middle is going to kind of be distracting to all of us. I like that cool pattern just because I like what it's doing. But, okay, let's see what happens with the gold. I'm not quite confident enough to pull in Erica, but I'm going to try my very best to kind of do gold veining. That'll let me do it. Of course, even some of these white areas, I wouldn't mind actually having some gold filling up my edges, to be honest. I think it would make it really pretty to have some gold on the edges to kind of make the color look more balanced. That's probably not something you guys were expecting. Most of the time it's used as a vein. Not as a color that's blown into it, right? And yet, it's such a pretty color of yellowy gold. Let's see, make sure I get all into the corners here. That's really interesting. We're going to end up losing this pink thing, you know. It can't stay the way it is. It's not going to be sustainable. It looks too strange. But I am going to put some gold in here. The pink is the pink parasol. It's a dragonfly wing, and it's a lot of opacity because it's a primary element, even just a drop of color in there, right? And yet people are in disbelief saying, you know, it's the same thing. It's not the same thing. Primary elements and resin are not the same thing. And so in the resin, it's going to give you opacity. Okay, let me get this resin cleaned up. Now I need a really small little swipey tooly thingy. I need a little piece just to kind of, got my scissors here just to smooth it out. I just want to take this gold, you can't see it, I just want to take this gold, smooth it over. Yeah, the pink parasol under that gold's actually kind of pretty. And just kind of swipe into it so it breaks up that pink. I don't like that little pattern that it left. Okay, that's okay. I'm okay with that. Let's see where else I can enhance with some gold. I'd like this corner to have some of that warm tone. I know, it's not normal to have gold corners. Everybody puts the gold over the middle of everything. But there's so much darn blue and turquoise and pink and purple that I don't know how you don't have pink parasol. I can't explain that to you, Pamela. I don't know. I have a lot of different colors. That's maybe because you weren't looking at the dragonfly wing set as a viable set. Okay, so I got a big swath of gold here. I don't want to do the predictable thing, but I feel like, God, you guys can't really see what I'm doing here. This is when I want a syringe at the end. To soften the edges, it's going to be fine. Yeah, it will be. I think you're right. If I soften them all out. Okay, I'm getting frustrated. I want the darn syringe. I've talked about it. Let's get this thing to work. I have a syringe. I'm going to try to get a mill up into this syringe. You can see me trying to draw it up because then I have control. Right? Then I can say, oh, I want a gold vein right here. That goes into that, right? I love these little syringes. So then I can get my precise, other than my, tell you, my glove is really sticky. Get back to my black glove. I don't feel like I have any control over that glove. I'll try to put a little bit of gold veining in here. I can see people saying things, but I can't read it. He's talking about what they have and what they don't have. I am going to add a little more gold to this corner, keep up with that theme. I'm going to add gold to this corner, and again, keep it up to the theme. Well, Jasmine's the hottest pink in the world. And she has a dog named Princess Jasmina. Pamela, you have Jasmine, right? I think that's what Mandy's asking you. I believe she does. Okay, so do I add a little white or do I just keep going with my gold? I want to break up all this purple and blue with a little bit more veining. And just kind of follow along where this blue led me. This isn't horrible. I'm actually not hating it. I don't know if I'd run home and say, hey, Mom, look at the best piece of art I've done, but I'm pretty happy with how these colors are manipulating. And I'm really happy, oh my God, with that metallic in the resin. Whew. Your fingers are frozen. How cold is it there, honey? I know Kathleen, even though she lives in Oregon, apparently the part of Oregon they're in gets these Arctic fronts, and they've been like -8. And, you know, I'm in California, not too far from her. I'm like, how is it possible that you're -8? I'm just going to keep continuing with these designs and smoothing it out. I do like what this did, and I don't want to touch it. It looks like a tree. Somebody said it looks like a tree. It does. I need a little bit more gold over here. Somehow we've missed this corner. Come on, baby. Come out for me. There we go. We'll smooth that out with the gun. It's just if I was, you know, I put it in that one corner and would look really odd if the other corners were stark white. And they didn't pick up that pink and gold. See, and I can blow that gold back into the color. I see a blue tree too. Absolutely, I see a blue tree. Strange little piece, but this is a good exercise on primary element, purely pigment metallic, couple resin arts. Was it 3 resin arts? And yeah, I think I'm gonna put more gold over there. Still trying to get it up. These syringes work and they're cheap and you can throw them away. This holds only 1 mil. But you can have control of where you want it to go. And most of us don't feel like we have a lot of control nowadays. I have a tendency to want to control where everything goes. How about you? I'm not going to go into that blue and dark blue section here next to me. I'm just going to keep going over this gold. Because what's happening here, this is really beautiful what's happening here. Those 2 colors, that's that metallic, the gold alumilite, I mean the blue alumilite. We have a little area here where we've missed some pockets. Now this is where we do the, I call it the Mandy touch-up, because Mandy touches up everything before she's done. She's making sure that every single corner is covered thoroughly. It looks good before she logs off. Every little detail. I know, I'm sorry for picking on you today, Mandy. It's just because you're listening. But she does. She pays attention to every little corner, every little detail, to make sure that all those little pockets are covered when she's doing her thing. Well, I don't know if I want to mess with this anymore. Should I do anything else to this? No one's saying anything. Yeah, I wished I had put the white in before I done the gold, because in hindsight, had I done color, then some white veining, right? And then gold veining right next to it would make it pop. Yeah, Sheldon, you and I, it's the same thing. I agree, but I don't want to screw it up now. I'm too scared to try to put white in there and control it. God, bananas would have been interesting. Maybe put a gold squiggly through the large gold where it crosses the blue. Here, you don't have much gold. But if it looks a little incomplete, we can do this, right? I don't know if that's what she meant. There's only so much left. Someday they're gonna making it soften. I told Leslie if I ever, oh, I heard you talking about me, you're taking my name in vain. Yeah, what? I am not mad about this. Put what on a stick and drag it through it. I wish I could read what you guys were saying. Oh, and I've got clear. Wow. Okay, well, something, I know, I can't help myself. The gold. What about the gold? Thank you, Mandy. Now, I know you guys saw me do the water droplet thing. I just want to show you something that even just putting clear resin on top does. I'll start in this corner. Are you aware it kind of creates more texture? You see that droplet? This is what I was trying to do last time. Even with just clear, we'll do the same thing. We get a little stick. See that beautiful droplet? So to add texture could be something just as simple as adding these, and you've added a beautiful pattern to your painting, right? Because it'll dry like this. This resin's been setting up 82 minutes. Yeah. This was mixed before we came on. So we're at 82 minutes. Now, if I put interference in there, we'd be doing the bubble thing I was trying to do last time. But what's really interesting, and I know you're going to think I'm ruining this, but watch what happens when it crosses over between two different colors. It's going to hit. It's amazing what this, I'm in love with this look. I don't know why, I'm obsessed with it. Yeah, you could do a drop of color, but it would be really strong. I'll tell you what, the interferences are astounding drop like this. If I had a bunch made up. But you see, now we got a beautiful, cool texture right there. I really love when it straddles two different colors. Yeah, they look like a river stone, right? So do the same thing in this gold over here. Got to be really careful not to dribble before you get there, though. But yeah, this is a really cool effect. I've got about 3 videos, old videos I did years ago. I'm going to try to see if I can get this real close so we're focusing just on this one section here so we can see it up close. I have a few videos doing this. But I focused on using the interference when creating this effect. And yet, clear is just as exciting when Now this is gold. If I really want to see how many of these I get in here, if I can come back with a second color. If I came on top with an interference violet, you guys would be blown away how that looks. It's so stinking pretty. Because violet contrasts with gold, right? It's on the opposite of the color wheel. While I was trying to talk about that in the beginning. Look at that. Not much gold in there, and so the blue is pushed out. I could. But I'm liking what's happening here. Even just the simplicity of the clear is adding an elegance. You like I do too. I wasn't planning on having a blue tree, but we just kind of go with what forms when we're doing fluid art, right, guys? If you wonder why I'm taking my time, I'm scraping it off so I can get it on here and not have it drop where I don't want it to drop. See, so I'm just getting it up there, getting it on the edge, getting it on the end of my stick, making sure it's not going to drop, and then getting over there. I'm having to work it up. But we're 82 minutes. And so the longer you can wait until it's just the last minute of the resin, your shapes are going to hold up. They're not going to flatten out as much, right? Okay, I can't stand it. I've got to put some violet in here. Let's try sparkle violet. I know. I'm going to maybe mess this up. I'll put a little bit in an extra bit of cup. I've got some resin here. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about, what happens when you use that violet. Yeah, what about glitter? We don't use glitter, Judy. What'd you say about glitter? Oh, she's talking about white veining. Yeah, white veining would add contrast. It would. Okay, so I've got a little sparkle violet mixed up in this resin. Can you see it? I add a tiny bit more. I have some still mixed up. And I want you to see what happens when we do this, okay? I prefer to go on top of another one that's already done, that's already got a shape. The thing is, I don't want the whole thing covered. But I've put like gold, violet, blue, 3 or 4 different colors on top of one another. And it adds this crazy dimension. By the way, this is making up for that weird pink area in the middle, right? I'm creating my own design in here. So this is sparkle violet. I chose sparkle instead of interference so more light could pass through it. The interference would really be shifty and not give you so much transparency. The gold, the sparkle or the diamond will give you more transparency. And depending upon the look you're looking for, right? Oops, that's too much of a drop for that one area. Let's save some and go over here. Still scraping it all out, getting a little bit in here. So should I cover up my tree? I'm going to watch you go, no, don't cover up the tree. It's just, it looks kind of odd. No, okay. I knew someone was going to say no. Okay, I'll continue with the drops down the gold area. I was going to cover that whole pink area up with these drops. It won't, I don't think it's going to ruin the tree, but it would spread it out differently. It just would look like that whole area was meant to be like that and not this jarring tree in the middle of it. Okay, I'll get as close to it as I can without ruining your tree. You see these big bubbles here? See how cool these are? And because that gold is kind of transparent, it's outlining this with the gold, and the color beneath is popping through. That's the thing, as the resin pushes down and kind of creates a crater in it, creates a crater or a pattern in that resin. And so it pushes down the resin, pushes it back, and creates this special effect like a texture under the resin. I really dig this look. Sorry, guys, if I'm going off on a tangent here, but it's just so effective. I know it's the quietest as I've been so far. This also has a big gold area, so I'm going to put my pattern over here, continue on, so it looks, there's a little continuity. So I'm going to put it right down here in this corner. What little bit I've got left. I didn't mean to drip that. See if you can see that. There's a little bitty corner there where I can add a few drops here, and it looks like that pattern's continuing from the other side. Same thing here on this side. I'll put a couple droplets here. Well, guys, I don't think I've got any more violet left, but when this dries, you're going to see this beautiful sparkle violet inside of that clear is just stunning. Oh, it's too bad I didn't have enough to kind of do this little section here, right? Create the droplets there. I don't know if I've got enough. I kind of want to complete my story here. Oops. Oh, come on, Leslie. When you guys see this dry, I think you'll appreciate the whole blobs that I'm putting down, these clear resin blobs. It's amazing what happens when it pushes back and the colors underneath that it reveals. And it looks like little opal jewels. Yeah, this would be my fantasy landscape. And I left the dang tree in the middle. How to make you guys happy. Michelle said, no, don't dump the tree. Right? This would be a great tray, a great mixing tray, wouldn't it? I like the way you think, Michelle. Uh-oh, you're not going to believe who just jumped up to say hi. Of course, I can't pick him up till I got my gloves off. But Harley is here suddenly. He's very curious about what I'm doing, and I don't, because we got epoxy on this table. I really don't want him near it. Oh my God, look at those colors. That little bit of gold, oh my God, if you could see what I'm seeing here, guys, I'm so excited about this. Now I want to do another one. I can't wait to do one next week. I was so nervous about today. Because again, doing art pieces with resin, I've not had as much experience as others. Hopefully, like I said, we're thinking about how to shift responsibility off of me and turn me into just, that pink parasol's beautiful, and turn me into just marketing and education, and let me go hog wild crazy teaching you guys how all this stuff works together. That's the goal. Wow, I had enough to do droplets down this whole section. Wow, okay. This you gotta see. I don't know if you can see this, but it rarely happens. We're getting this weird blue, violet, delphinium, aqua shift that's pushing out here. Whew, I can't wait for you to see this in the morning. If I turn it, it'll ruin it, so I can't pick it up and show you just yet. But trust me, we're going to have something to look at next week when we take a look at this after it's dried. So let's see, I'm looking to see if I got any more resin at all that I can put in any of these little gold sections. Jurassic Fantasy, that's a great name for it. All right, my cups are done. I think I still have a little bit of this color. Good to the last drop. Where am I gonna put? Shoot. I don't know. That little bit of pink, I had it right in the center, but you guys don't want me messing with that. Maybe, yeah, it looks like a galaxy. Maybe I'll put the little bit of the violet right here. Let's hope it doesn't ruin it. Just a couple droplets to see what happens when that flattens out. I don't want too much heat, but the tiniest bit of heat will make those flatten. That's it. I don't want to mess with it. I'm not messing with my galaxy. Yeah, this is going to be really interesting. I'm telling you, this effect right here that is totally my jam. I don't know if I've seen anybody else do it. I can't really claim it as my own, but I know that a few years ago, I had this, you guys can see me, I'll get my gloves off. I had this tile that I done, black and white, and then I put the seagrass on it. And when I started putting the clear resin on top, I used gold, blue, violet, and it looks like Hulk's teeth. And it's actually in my video feed if you look at my older videos under the videos. Well, that was fun and unexpected. And now I'm more jazzed to try it again next week. And I kept your tree. Everybody wanted me to keep the darn tree. Okay, so announcements that ColorPlay deal page is now up, so you can go look at those custom 3-piece interference sets we put together. And I have to go through, there's 5 weeks now where I'm gonna go through the 3 to 4 days in that week and try to pick the colors that seem to make the most sense together that we used. What brand of resin? I'm using art resin. And so those are up there. A lot of people asked for the the color packs to, instead of, I was gonna do a 5-piece diamond, 5-piece gold, 5-piece diamond, 5-piece sparkle, 5-piece interference, like all three closer together, but that would have kind of been pricey. Doing them in color packs, like all the violets, then come back and get all the blues, much more reasonable for everybody. And then, like I said, I will review the videos. Thing is, I don't prepare in advance exactly what I'm gonna do all the time. I have an idea, but then it's more kind of organic as we're playing. I'm saying, oh no, maybe I should use red sparkle instead of violet sparkle, right? It's more of an instinctive, intuitive thing. And then afterwards, I gotta write down for you guys what I did. So like I said, long story longer, we're gonna create some sets that will have an assortment of what was used that week. Try to keep it at a $50 budget. And wow. Okay, some more stuff is happening. I'm not sure if I can turn this over and show you guys. It's this is nuts. It looks like little tiny octopus kind of crawling all over it. Can you see that area there? You see that, where that's forming? And what's happening here, of course, the little bit of blue that it went into. Okay, go to ColorPlay deals. So under the 3 lines, Jarek hasn't put it in the shop section yet. So go to the 3 lines, go to the very bottom, you'll see ColorPlay deals, that page is there. Wow, okay, so look, I'm gonna try to do the best scroll over I can with this thing on here. Under the sea, I know. So that looks like a little caterpillar there. Then we've got this section over here where it's starting to form shapes. Like I said, I put them in the 4 corners so it didn't look out of balance. But this center section, I'm not sure if you can see the violet in here. This is what has that violet sparkle. And it is gorgeous. Just gorgeous. All right, Miss Judy, I am re-inspired. Because I feel so nervous with all these wonderful resin artists out there, and I'm still learning myself like everybody else out there, all y'all. All right, so guys and dolls, thank you so much for joining me. I will see you Thursday. No, Fridays now. We're going on Fridays. Tuesday, Friday, Saturday morning. And Friday, of course, we're doing the acrylics. And I'm jazzed. I'm really jazzed. I'm jazzed that the metallics worked beautifully in that resin and gave us that gorgeous translucency with the shimmer. That was really unexpected. I proved my point on the primary elements. Picking a dragonfly wing color has the smallest amount of color in it, and you see the opacity because it is a water-soluble color. I want to thank you guys for joining me, and until next time, I got to come up with my tagline here. Let's play with color, or have a little color play, or it's all about playing with color. For me, it is. And I wish you well, love you guys, and I will see you next time.